Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the 7-game NBA DFS slate on Wednesday. If this is your first time watching, well, cover content for daily fantasy sports as well as for player prop sites like Prize Picks and Underdog and Parlay Play. Guys, the sponsor of the video, that would be BetMGM. They currently have an offer going into the Super Bowl where if you bet $5, you get $158 in promo bets. So click that link down below and deposit, and you just have to make a $5 bet. If you do, you get $158 in bonus bets. I say in all these videos, but get in as many of these sports books and DFS prop sites as possible, and then you can search for the best value. Like, for example, tonight, I wanted to bet on Bobby Portis PRA at 24.5. And I was looking through the different books. I was looking at OddsJam, see which one offered the best value. It was BetMGM. So I went over on BetMGM, and I took Bobby Portis over 24.5 PRA. Now, looking decent at half. I think he's at 15 or 16 PRA, so not bad. But yeah, get in as many books as possible, and then, again, you can search for that value. It's a great offer here as well. So if you do, click that link down below and deposit. It really does help support the channel. And if you are looking for more content, as always, you can check out my Patreon linked down below for DFS or for prop stuff. Also, for BetMGM, got to read the promo. 21 plus, obviously. And if you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-gambler. Okay, so let's recap tonight. Oh, really quick, though, too, before we get in the recap, I just want to say thank you guys to everyone that came out. Stochastic, I went on the Stochastic show, the deeper dive. It was like just support. Like, I was trying to keep up with the comments, but overwhelming, really. So really, you guys made my day coming in, supporting the stream. So I just want to thank you guys again. That meant a lot, really did. All right, so let's recap tonight. So let's go over the prop stuff. So these are my three tacos for Taco Tuesday. We hit Jabari Smith easily. He was literally had negative fantasy points for a while. He started off so hot, and then a negative fantasy points going into the fourth quarter. Like, in the second half, I was like, what are we doing here? But he hit, as Hartenstein easily hit, and then we had Middleton as the third taco, was soaring over locker room, and he's done for the night. The reboot, but still was going to full sweep. Still swept it. The Middleton one is a reboot. And then, Middleton again had him in pain from that. And then I got to show you guys one more. Back-to-back nights, man. Come on, right? No steals or blocks for Josh Hart. I would have went to Hartenstein, but that was one of my earlier tacos, and he got bumped like 4 points. He would have been my other play, but yeah, he got bumped a ton, so I went to Josh Hart and chalked the 25x. Still doubled up, but yeah, back-to-back nights in Moose Piss. It's not fun residing in Moose Piss, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, the stacking on Prize Picks, game stacking, it's been super profitable. Something like this. Sometimes you don't have to full game stack. If there's two teams that are shorthanded, you run like a 3-3 stack. That's what I did with Cam Thomas, Bridges, Clarkson, ran it back with Hart, Brunson, and DiVincenzo. That's what we got there for props. Still a very profitable night. YouTube play missed because Bulls trolled with the starting lineup. They started the Twin Towers. One more thing too. Look at this, man. So I bet a lot of Jabari Smith props. I felt his props across books, and I felt were just too low. I had a lot of bets on Jabari Smith props. This is one of them, over 7.5 rebounds plus assists. I also took his over 19.5 PRA. Everything hit easily, but I had his double-double at plus 500. You want to know what he finished with? 20 points and 9 rebounds. And then for DFS, once again, did not have anyone in the game that went to overtime. I would have 100% locked Andre Drummond. He was the best play of the slate, but I had no room. Everyone locked. I had all Rockets, Nets, and Knicks. So we got the Drummond news right after lock. I had no way to get him in. Everyone was locked in my lineup. I definitely would have played Andre Drummond. He absolutely smashed. I made a Patreon post about how I really liked him in tournaments. Going to my lineup. So I went to Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Şengün. Josh Hart, Hartenstein, Bridges, Dennis. Dude, don't get me started on the net. I had Royce O'Neal. Pivoted off because I felt like he was going to be over-owned once he wasn't starting. Pivot to Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. floor game. Royce O'Neal, career night. Not a career night. He had a good night. And it always, I literally told people on the Patreon stream it was going to happen. It happened. Ugh. DFS, man. So tilting at times. Okay, so that's a recap of everything. Let's talk about the 7-game slate. Also, if you guys are betting on the props for tomorrow, I did just get a tweet out my tweet going in depth into all these games. So go check that out for free on Twitter. Put a lot of time into those. So go show some love you do enjoy. All right, Cleveland, Washington, the first game here. Definitely some blowout risk, about a 10.5 point spread. For the Cleveland side, I mean, I think Donovan Mitchell 9.9K is still a solid option. Really good matchup, but not a must, obviously, with Garland and Mobley back. Garland and Mobley, I think probably will still be on a slight minutes limit, maybe around 30 at 28 to 30 minutes. So Mobley has played really well back-to-back games. If we get news that he's full go, then Mobley would definitely stand out. Jared Allen's been playing really well, but his price is up a bit. I don't really know if I can get to anyone else. LeVert, Strus, I mean, they're just kind of secondary plays to me. Talk through Washington. So you got Marvin Bagley out. The starters, here's the thing with Washington. The starters are playing good minutes in competitive games. It's just there's a lot of blowouts. Now, Eugene Amourier played the backup 5 to Daniel Gafford last game, and he went for 41 fantasy points. And I'll be a little bit careful. He got extended because of the blowout, but he is relatively cheap. I don't think we can expect that level of production again from him. As far as the main guys go, like the main starters, I think they're all viable contrarian plays. Kuzma, Denny, Tyus, Poole, Gafford. If the game stays competitive, you should see mid-30s minutes from Kuzma, probably 30 plus from Denny, 30 plus from Tyus, probably around 30 from Poole and Gafford. So, I mean, there are some playable options. If the game blows out, you could see Coulibaly get extended, but he's literally going for 0.75 fantasy points in 25 minutes last game. 25 minutes, 0.75 fantasy points. How? Can someone explain to me how that's a Tony Snell-esque game? Toronto, Charlotte. So Toronto, Gary Trent probable, Porter questionable. I expect Toronto to go back to the starting lineup of Barnes, Quickly, Barrett, Pirtle, and Gary Trent. Jakob Pirtle played, I think it was 18 first half minutes. So he's clearly no longer on a minutes limit. And now he gets a matchup against Charlotte, sub 6K. I am actually pretty high on Jakob Pirtle here. As far as the rest of the guys go, Scotty Barnes at 8.7K. If you have the salary for him, no issue with that. Quickly had a pretty bad game last game, but he didn't shoot the best. We know if he's making shots, this guy has a pretty high ceiling. RJ Barrett played 43 minutes last game. That was into double overtime, but I don't think he's made any sort of limit. He's played very well offensively for this team. Gary Trent Jr.'s been starting. He's been playing in competitive games, like mid-20s minutes. I think you can make the argument for Schroeder or Brown off the bench. Thad Young will back up Pirtle. But there actually is some good plays in my opinion. I think Pirtle will be my favorite for Toronto. Talking through Charlotte, no LaMelo Ball, no Kyle Lowry, no Mark Williams. Hayward and Martin are questionable, though. If they both miss, you should get Ish Smith in the starting lineup. He played big minutes last time out. Nick Smith would also play a little bit more. Leaky Black, I talked about how I thought he was a spot starter on the Patreon stream. Last game, he started. He only played 16 minutes. I was on the fade. That worked out. But if Hayward and Martin are both out, I mean, Bridges and Miller have just been dominating the use, and they're just playing huge minutes, as we talked about. Charlotte are running these guys into the ground. Miller dealt some foul trouble last game, still played 33 minutes. DJ and Nick Richards would be the other guys you should expect good minutes from, as far as the main guys go. So there are some solid plays here for Charlotte. If Hayward and Martin are in, slight downgrade to everyone. I don't think I would mess with the value. Atlanta, Boston, so no Capella. DeAndre Hunter is questionably, but I think he'll play like low 20s minutes. Can't get to Hunter yet. Okongwu is the first guy we got to talk about. I think he looks good at 5'7". The only concern here would be potential blowout on the road against Boston, but played 34 minutes last game. He's about a fantasy point per minute player, and he's got power forward eligibility, so he looks good. You'll get Fernando backing him up at 3.4K. He'll play whatever Okongwu does not play. If the game blows out, maybe he gets extended a bit. No real strong takes on Trey or DeJounte Murray. They're fine for tournaments. Same with Jalen Johnson, 7'4". He continues to play big minutes in competitive games. Sadiq Bey is more of just a filler play. Same with Bogdanovich. So not a ton else to talk about here for Atlanta. Talking through Boston, Holiday is questionable. If he misses, obviously just a slight bump to all the starters. Derek White and Tatum do see assist bump with Holiday off the court. You would see Horford in the starting lineup. He would probably play close to 30 minutes. Would be a reasonable play there, 5'1". I think right now, factoring in everything, I think Porzingis would probably be my preferred option here at 7'5". In a competitive game, I would expect him to play 30-plus minutes. And then guys like Pritchard, Hauser probably play a little bit more if Drew Holiday is out. Pritchard could get extended if the game blows out. Did not have the best game last time, though. Golden State, Philly. So you got Chris Paul and GB2 still out. Wiggins is back, or he's probable, and Draymond Green is questionable. The Draymond one is big. That could open up some valley here for the Warriors. I would expect like a three-headed monster of like Dario Saric, Jackson Davis, Kevon Looney to split the center position if Draymond can't go. But the starters, they continue to play good minutes. Steph Curry, 9-5, always in play for tournaments. Kuminga continues to play big minutes. I was all over him last night for tournaments. He smashed, but unfortunately, again, I had Maxey that night, so it just didn't matter. Podziemski's been playing well at 6K, but with Wiggins back, he should shift to the bench, right? So they should go with what? Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Kuminga, Draymond. So yeah, I would assume Podziemski moves back to the bench, but he should still get good minutes, like low 30s or so. Still makes him playable. Clay, you know what I'm going to say, right? He's not been good recently. He has a low floor, but it's just never exciting to play the guy. But he is cheap, 5.5K, and if he is making his shots, if he can make a few shots, he does clearly have a ceiling. And then, yeah, guys like Sarge, Jackson Davis, Looney probably can't get to unless Draymond gets rolled out. Draymond gets rolled out. We'll see about the starting lineup, but Sarge is the guy that I would probably like the best in that scenario. He's got the power forward eligibility too. But like I said, we'll have to keep an eye on the starting lineup. My guess is they'll probably go to Looney if Draymond can't go in the starting lineup. Philadelphia, no Embiid, no Melton, no Batum. Yeah, you should get Paul Reed. Mo Bamba's putting in center position. We got news a few days ago that Paul Reed was like sick, and he was still sick in this game, so maybe he could see a little bit more run in this one. But yeah, Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Oubre should lead the way offensively. I like the ceiling a lot in Maxey. He let me down in a big way last time. Also picked up 3 quick ones, but still, again, we know the ceiling is there for him. So definitely like his upside. Tobias and Kelly Oubre, these guys should play big minutes. They'll be, the number 2, number 3 offensively. I think they're both decent plays at their salaries. Marcus Morris should get some decent run of 4.3K, reasonable value play. Daniel House, believe, probably, I think he started last game, but the minutes have not really been there for him. Pat Bev at 5.5 feels a little bit too pricey for me. I would just rather get up to like Oubre, Harris, Maxey. All right, let's talk about San Antonio, Miami. So San Antonio, Wembanyama, 8.8K. In competitive games, he's been playing around 30 minutes. Clearly like his ceiling. It's not the best matchup, and there is some blowout risk, but clearly like his ceiling. The real strong takes in the rest of San Antonio. Vassell's playable, Keldon's playable, Sohan's playable. Trey Jones at 5.7K continues to play good minutes. His assist percentage has been really high. He's averaging over 14 potential assists in the last 5 games. So I think he's reasonable there in the mid-range, but not a ton else to mention here for San Antonio. For Miami, looks to be fully healthy too, unless they set someone on a back-to-back. I guess that is possible. They ran a 9-man rotation tonight, and they booted Haywood Highsmith from the rotation. Jimmy Butler, the usage has been up on him. He continues to play mid-30s minutes. He looks decent. Bam, Hero Rozier, playable in a good matchup. Caleb Martin started last game, or the game tonight, played 25 minutes. If he starts again, 3.8K, I think you got to have some interest in him. Akaz, the price is coming down to a playable point, in my opinion, at 4.6. Love will play the backup 5. He's 3.4K. He's viable. He shot 3 of 9 tonight, still on for 18 fancy points. There actually are some cheap plays, like Duncan Robinson. How many minutes did he play tonight? 22. Yeah, this group of if they're on the same rotation again, like Love and Duncan and Martin and Jaquez, I think they're all playable. All right, Detroit, Sacramento. So Detroit, definitely some blowout risk here on the road in Sacramento. Cade questionable, Bojan questionable, Stewart is out. If Cade and Bojan are both out, then Ivy should lead the way offensively. More usage for Burks. Duren should get more usage. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the starting lineup. If those guys are all out, do they start Monte Morris? Do they start Sasser? Do they start Burks? Because Killian Hayes has been out of the rotation. So yeah, Ivy, Duren, probably the first 2 guys to look to, and then it would depend on the starting lineup for me with the Pistons if there is no Cade and no Bojan. Like I said, Burks actually has the second highest usage with those 2 guys off the court behind Ivy. Stuart Thompson's minutes have also been up of late, 26 and 27 minutes over the last couple games. He's not a bad point per guy and is cheap. So he's another interesting option. Again, Sasser is 3.6K. He hasn't been playing a ton, but he would probably play a little bit more. Where's Monte Morris? Monte Morris is the flat min price. He hasn't really been playing a ton, but he would probably see a slight bump in minutes as well. So, yeah, the big news is Cade and Bojan. If Cade and Bojan are both in, then, I think any of those main 4 guys are playable for tournaments, but again, a lot of blowout risk. And Sacramento, fully healthy. Love Sabonis and Fox if you think the Pistons can keep it competitive. 10-1 for Sabonis, 8.1K for Fox. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Murray, Monk, Herter, Barnes, right? What I'm going to say. 3 of these 4 will play good minutes. 1 will get their minutes slashed. Good luck trying to figure out which one's going to be. I will mention the minutes have ticked up on Trey Lyles, and he's only 3.2K. So he's a playable value. Final game, New Orleans and the Clippers. Zion and Marshall, both questionable. If they both miss, obviously a usage bump to Ingram and CJ. Ingram has a 32% usage rate and 32% assist percentage with Zion off the court this season. JV and Nance split the center position down the middle. Definitely prefer Nance point per dollar. He played 20 minutes last time out. I think he's a decent value play. Guys like Murphy and Herb Jones would play a little bit more too if Zion can't go. If Zion's in, I mean, I think any of the main Pelicans, Ingram, Zion, and CJ are playable. And then finally for the Clippers, fully healthy, I think Zubac will still play on some sort of limit. He only played 18 minutes in his first game back. Paul George also has not seen full complement of minutes yet, 33 and 32 over the last couple games. Harden, Kawhi, 9K, 8.9K, both fine options, neither are priorities. Westbrook's price a little bit too high. Howell's always just a filler play, same with Mann. So not a ton that really stands out to me for the Clippers. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up the video. I'll have a prize picks one up after this. But as always, if you do enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You all